I love this guitar. It's just like the guitar and my voice just seem like they are a good fit.
I got that's my old faithful. I love it. It sounds beautiful here.
Yeah.
Because I got a whole range of nice woody tones out of it.
Cool.
I got an African drum restrung.
Yeah.
And it's just tighter than tight.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of like a solo lead drum.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh, yeah, really?
And I don't really play that well.
Yeah.
But I can use that for my,
Well, we're going to get started with a little prelude here before we begin our service. So this is a very favorite song of mine called I Am Willing. I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. There is hurting in my family, there is sorrow in my town, there is panic all across the nation, and there is wailing the whole world round. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. May the children see more clearly, may the elders be more wise, may the winds of change caress us, even though it burns our eyes. But I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift me up to the light of change. Give me a mighty oak to hold my confusion, give me a desert to hold my fears, give me a sunset to hold my wonder, and give me an ocean to hold my tears. 'Cause I am open and I am willing, for to be hopeless would seem so strange. It dishonors those who go before us, so lift us up to the light of change. Yay. Thank you.
Sandy is going to be leading us in all of our music today. She is giving Nina the day off, which she hasn't had in quite a while. But I look forward to Sandy sharing her gifts and talents with us today, starting off well with Holly Near's song, which is one of my favorites. So thank you, Sandy. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for sharing your gifts with us today.
Glad to be here.
It is a joy to welcome all of you here this morning, and if you are live streaming with us, welcome as well. Know that you are with us in spirit. There is no distance in spirit. We are one. So welcome all of you. This is a place indeed of welcome. We're talking about that today. It is a place of inclusion. It is a place that welcomes all, no matter who you are, where you come from, whatever your spiritual path, you are welcome here with us. And we certainly hope you feel that when you join us here. If you're joining us for the first time, whether live streaming or here in the sanctuary with us today, please see me after. I'll be happy to talk with you. We have some guest packets for you as well. So, and if you're watching and you'd like to receive a guest packet, just let us know and we'll get you one of those in the mail as soon as possible. There's a lot going on in the world right now. A lot. Certainly, we know that. We're sitting in a sanctuary filled with people with masks on, so we're very aware of the pandemic. But we also today remember with our love and our prayers those in Afghanistan, our service members, the Marines who were killed, and the suicide bombing and the close to 200 Afghani who were also killed in that terrible attack. But we also want to remember today, and we'll pray during our prayer times for all of this, but those who are in the path of Hurricane Ida, in a state that is reeling from COVID right now, and a state with a good deal of poverty and a good deal of danger in the very landscape in which they live from such a storm. So we pray for their protection as well. And as I said, we'll remember all of these in our prayer times later in our service, but just hold all who are, and I know we feel it. We all feel it. We feel the weight of it. Some of you have spoken to me about that, but just hold the space, hold the prayer space for all these today during our service. Please join me in our opening statement together. We are grounded in faith, trusting that God renews and uplifts us as we grow into the fullness of our divine potential. We are joyously grateful for every demonstration of God's infinite good in our lives. We are grounded, growing, and grateful. And let's sing about that.
I'm grounded by faith, growing in wisdom, grateful for love in all that I am. Grounded by faith, growing in wisdom, grateful for love forever. Amen. Grateful for love, growing in wisdom, grounded by faith that all is well. So grateful for love, growing in wisdom, grounded by faith that all is well. We're grounded by faith, growing in wisdom, grateful for love in all that we are. Grounded by faith, growing in wisdom, grateful for love forever. Amen.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm happy to see half of your smiling faces this morning. And I'm also chuckling because I'm noticing people are making comments about the fact that I lost a few inches here. So, yes, I'm Chris Klosterman. I'm the owner of 2 ears you can now see. And I'm very happy to be your platform chair this morning. We've got a few announcements, then we'll get into our statement of purpose and the daily word. As you know, because I can see it all throughout the congregation, we do have current COVID protocols in place at UCR which require masking for everyone, including the fully vaccinated and children. And if anybody are coming in, masks are available throughout the building, including by the doors as you need them. Thanks for doing this. Our prayer room partner, Barb Buchanan, right there, will happily pray with you after the service today in the prayer chapel. If you have a prayer concern, know that we are here to support you. Barb is also our Sunday assistant today. So please direct any questions or requests for assistance to her or reach out to our board members. The new Spirit Space book study begins this Thursday, September 2nd at 10:30 a.m. in the Sacred Grounds bookstore. The group is exploring A Religion of One's Own by Thomas More, and it will continue for 6 weeks. The books are available today in the bookstore. Spirit Space is a woman-centric book group, but all are welcome. This just in, this not, I don't know if there's a slide for this, we'll get to the especially for you race here in a second, but Barb has also requested that as we shift away from using plastics, especially plastic bags, that anybody who has those cloth bags, those reusable cloth bags that you don't yourself need, feel free to donate those here to Unity so we can use them for our community cupboard. So this, again, just a quick announcement, but a very important one as Barb helps transition the team away from the plastic bags to those reusable cloth bags that we see all over the place. Feel free to bring any extras into Unity. Now, join Team Unity Center for the 2021 Especially for You Race Against Breast Cancer. Early registration ends September 1st, which means that the entry fee will increase from $30 to $35. You can register to be part of the team until the day of the event, but if you want a t-shirt with the UCR logo, you must register by September 8th. So the race is on October 3rd. Hope to see everybody there. And now, Debra's got some information about our youth and family ministry.
I don't need that, thanks. Make sure I am on, I can tell. I apologize to Barb in advance for making copies and putting it on the chairs. I am very committed to Earth Care, but this is really important, and I want these flyers, I want you to take these with you. These are for your grandchildren, your children, your neighbors, your friends. We are beginning again our youth and family ministry program beginning September 19th. Now for the preschoolers, 3 up to middle school till 11 years of age, our program will be based on the 5 basic teachings of unity. We're calling it 5 Alive, which will be an easy way to remember it. And our Uniteens program, we want to thank Josh and Mary Hahn for the last 3 years of just kind of holding everything together and doing such a great job for us. Josh has transitioned into something we think is important because some of our stalwart children who attend are now in middle school. So Josh will be doing, and along with Chris Klosterman's support, we'll be heading up what we call our Uniteens program. So this is middle school and above, probably going into YOU, our Youth of Unity, which is high school. And his passion really lies around that age group. So we're so excited that he is going to remain part of that process. So this leaves us with our ages 3 to 11. Now we have some folks who've already volunteered, but we also need maybe a handful more volunteers. Because what we want to do is make sure that we have a rotation of teachers and assistants who can support the program and also attend Sunday services. So we want to make sure that we have enough folks to do that. This is going to be a real creative program. I'm so grateful to Arlene Brandt, who is just a whiz with child development. That was her background as a teacher and an elementary school principal. She walked through some curriculum with me the other day. And so we're putting together some lesson plans, and so we are just excited about this program. And we've also spruced up the room. So if you haven't been to the nursery into that middle classroom where this class will take place, please do so. It's just beautiful. So we've prepared the space. We have set our intention. Now we need the volunteers to support it, and this is what I'm asking you to do today. If you could volunteer once a month to support our children, and we have many areas in which you can do that, to be a classroom facilitator/teacher, classroom assistant, arts and crafts, music and movement, to help with registration, greeting children and families, to be a prayer partner as well. You can always pray. And know that lesson plans, supplies, curriculum, all of this will be provided to you. We'll also have a teacher training on September 12th at 11:15 after the service. So we're not asking you to fly blind in this. We are going to support you as you volunteer. So again, this will be based on our 5 basic teachings, and during that time, it's September 19th through October 17th, the lessons in this room will also be based on the 5 teachings as well. So it'll be a fully integrated program. And I'll be creating some family materials for the families to take home and do and participate and discuss as well as a family. So we're just setting an intention. We don't know. 2 kids? Well, there'll be 20 kids. We don't know. But we never know unless we open the space. And as we get all those components that are integral to a successful program in place. Out on the table in the vestibule, there's a blue tablecloth. It's where all of our sign-up sheets for volunteerism in sacred service are right now. There are 2 clipboards. I invite you just to sign up. It is, please know you will be supported. You will be given all that you need to be successful in this endeavor. So please sign up. Some of you already have, but it would be great to have 5 or 10 more. And the biggest thing is get the word out. So again, bring your grandkids, bring your children, bring your neighbors. It promises to be a great time. So again, thank you. Thank you all for supporting this program. Thank you, Josh and Mary, for keeping it alive and growing. And we look forward to the days to come. Now, we do ask a couple of things if you volunteer. If you're going to be in the classroom with the children, we ask that you're vaccinated. This is for protection of our children. And we will have children and all of our volunteers in the classroom wearing masks, again, for your protection and for the protection of the children. So please know that as well. We'll also be working with our sacred safety guidelines, which we'll tell you more about as you sign up. So again, thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Debra. All right, now's the time to please join me in our statement of purpose. Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. We gather to create an experience of spirit. At Unity CR, we offer practical teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. Meeting you right where you are, we endeavor to provide a variety of ways to support your path of spiritual living. Our mission is to provide spiritual awareness and share the wonder and joy of God's love. Our daily word today is awareness. The world feels new as I grow in awareness. Spending time in mindful contemplation increases my awareness of my surroundings. As I concentrate and focus my attention, I shut out distractions and settle my unquiet mind. My world begins to feel brighter, vibrant, and more alive as I notice the soft sounds and minute textures and colors I overlooked before. Spending time in prayer increases my awareness of God's goodness, which I share with others when I am patient and kind, generous and forgiving. This goodness returns to me as kindness and gentleness in the people I meet, and ease and grace in all the places I go. The world has not changed, but I have. My awareness of God in and as my life has opened my eyes and ears, my mind and my heart. And from Psalm 119, verse 18, open my eyes so that I may behold wondrous things out of your law.
Can you hear me? There we go. We're going to join in song here, a congregational song. It's another Holly Near song called Singing for Our Lives. It lends itself to harmonies. As you hear them in your head, feel free to sing. It's very simple melody, and I encourage you to stand if you're able. It's one of those songs you're going to want to swing and sway and get into singing. So we'll give her a go here. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are gay and straight together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are young and old together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a peaceful, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a peaceful, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. Thank you. I invite you to become quiet, time for meditation, and I'll sing a centering song here, Sweet Hour of Prayer. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne make all my wants and wishes known. In seasons of distress and grief, my soul has often found relief, and oft escaped the tempter's snare by thy return, sweet hour of prayer.
Sweet hour of prayer, a moment in which we open ourselves more fully to the presence of God's love, the very essence of God's love itself. A moment in which we accept ourselves fully as we realize our divine nature and as we affirm our own worth. In this moment of prayer, we give ourselves permission to receive the gifts of Spirit. That Spirit is eager and willing and wanting to express in and through us. In this sacred time of prayer, we affirm that we ourselves are sacred and holy, unique, integral creations of God, beloved of God. We are worthy. We are good. worthy. You are good. You are loved and loving, for you are love itself. And this love that is God moves through every fiber of your being, knitting together all the fragmented parts of yourself, of your awareness, of your consciousness, bringing you into perfect harmony with the great heart of God. Every part of you, every aspect of your being is included in this divine love. There is nothing you have done, nothing you will ever do, nothing that you can ever do that separates you from this love. And so in this moment, let this divine, unifying, healing, transforming love gather you up into wholeness. You are God's beloved, in whom God is most well pleased. You are a translucent prism of divine love. And just as you are worthy and worthwhile and good and whole and free, so too is every being on this planet, worthy of God's divine love. And as this translucent, transparent, open expression of love, you send forth that love into the world to uplift it, to heal it, to transform it. And so as you rest now in silence, in quietness, be open, and let God be God in you. We thank you, Creator, for reminding us that we are precious, important, worthy, good. We thank you for this moment in which we have been open and transparent and translucent, this moment in which we have opened ourselves up to be the conduit through which your love is expressed in this world. And we send forth that healing, transforming, protecting love to our brothers, our sisters, our siblings in Louisiana and all along the Gulf Coast. To them we say the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, even in the midst of the storm, God is. We send our love, this healing, transforming, peace-giving, peace-making love to Afghanistan. to heal the grief that is felt so deeply by the families of our service members who were killed, but also to the hundreds of Afghans who have been affected and their families. We send your peace as their hearts are heavy, as they are anxious and uncertain during these days. And we send your love to all points in this world, in our community, our nation, asking that your healing life and love quicken within every one of us the remembrance that we are truly whole and well and free, that no condition has power over us, and that we can use our wisdom, our God-given faculty of wisdom, to assuage the anxiety and the grief that we feel in this moment. And so as we begin to bring our attention back to this time and to this place, as we become aware of our surroundings and those around us, we take a moment to imagine a world in which there is peace, where everyone has enough, where everyone is safe, where everyone is well and whole, where everyone knows they are beloved and worthy. A world in which we are one. And so it is, and so it shall ever be. Amen.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A fellowship of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. One of my favorites, too. I love the words. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion to. Imagine all the people living life in peace. And I remember when that song was popular, there were people who were so upset because imagine there's no heaven, no hell. Wow. The song talks about making, in some instances, in some ways, I don't know if John Lennon and Yoko Ono would agree with this, but making heaven right here on earth, living into this kingdom right here, right now. Living for today, living life in peace. It's a song about oneness. It's a song about unity. It's a song about connection. It's a song about getting rid of the dualities of life and living now in this present moment. It's a song of inclusion. During August, our Sunday lessons have been centered around 5 foundational values that were discerned by our leadership, including our licensed unity leaders and staff. These are faith, spirituality, prayer, service, and today's the last in the series, inclusion. Well, you'll find that an important value is missing. I think it did show up, but not in the top 5, and that is love. Where in the world is love in all of this? Well, I would tell you that these last 2 values that we have talked about and shared, service and inclusion, are only possible through the power of divine love. And in some ways, I was very happy and encouraged that love didn't show up on this top list, because we can be very performative about love. We can talk a lot about love. We can say, oh, we're such a loving congregation. But the test of that is where our hearts are when we think about service and when we think about inclusion. That's where love expresses itself. Victor Hugo wrote, well, actually, there's some discussion about this, whether or not Victor Hugo actually wrote this. To love one another, to love another person, is to see the face of God. It is a line from a song in Les Miserables. That is the meaning of inclusion in a nutshell. To love another is to see the face of God. Now, I know we can't see everyone's full faces today, but if you feel comfortable, turn to the person around you and say, I see the face of God. It is so true. When we see another person, we see the face of God. But let's not miss the importance of love here. If we see another person, if we love another person, and that reveals to us the face of God, how could we ever think ourselves or another person is unworthy? How could we think of ourselves or another as being not good enough when we see them, when we see their countenance as the very face of God itself? So the very spiritual faculty that reminds us of this is this power of divine love. It is that which binds together the universe and everything in it. It is that which joins us together as a spiritual community, mind to mind, soul to soul, and heart to heart. It is that which reminds us of our oneness with God. It is love that breaks down barriers and walls. And a spiritual community that is filled with love is a community of inclusion. Love opens doors. And as I mentioned last Sunday in my lesson, there's an Italian proverb that says that love renders useless locksmiths. Love opens doors. Now, we can say all are welcome. Lots of spiritual communities do that, but what does that mean? All are welcome as long as you fit into the nice, neat little box that we want you to fit into, as long as you love the right people, as long as you have the right amount of money in your checking account. What does it mean to welcome all? That's a radical idea, friends, to truly welcome all. It means we welcome people who love differently than we do, who look differently than we do, who come from different backgrounds, who have different political beliefs than we do. Oh boy. Yes. It is a place of welcoming then becomes a place where people are honored and celebrated for being his, her, their authentic selves. What does it mean to love like that? What does it mean for us as a spiritual community to love like that? The beautiful words of 1 Corinthians 13 help us with this. Well, I did it. What?
Flip the power switch on the side.
On the side. Whoops, there it is. That's what I want, right there. I also have the wrong glasses on. These are the glasses so that I can see you. I can't necessarily see this. If I speak with the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love, I'm a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have prophetic powers and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give away all my possessions, and if I hand over my body so that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. The Apostle Paul wrote these words in his letter to the Corinthians. Now, the church in Corinth was Paul's problem child. I think I've shared this with you before. Corinth was a very wealthy city, very cosmopolitan. It was sort of a crossroad of cultures. The churches in the very early days, now 1 Corinthians is one of the older things in the New Testament. Paul's letters are the oldest things in the New Testament. Most of them predate the writing of the Gospels. So these churches in this very nascent age of the Christian church were home churches. People met in their homes, and part of their gathering was a fellowship meal that ultimately evolved into what we know as communion. But this was what Jesus had invited them to do this in remembrance of him, to gather around a table with all kinds of people, rich, poor, different races, different religions. But in Corinth, the church was a bit larger, and so the only place they could find to meet was in one of the wealthier members' homes. And so the wealthy people who did not work gathered early and drank up all the best wine and ate up all the best food. And the people who had to work for a living arrived later, and by the time they had arrived, it was gone. There was a sense of class and status in this church in Corinth, and Paul was having nothing to do with that. He was having none of it. And so that's where this wonderful passage about love comes from. He's speaking to their arrogance, to their pride. He's calling forth their humility and their generosity. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not envious, love is not boastful or arrogant or rude or evil or resentful. Love does not insist on its own way. He was creating a community of inclusion. This passage for more than a century has been called the prism of love. Patience, kindness, generosity, humility, generosity, acceptance, and forgiveness. Can you imagine the power of a spiritual community that is based on these ideas? The power of a spiritual community that is open and willing to be the very instantiation, the very presence, the very thing itself. That's what that word means, instantiation, to be an instance of the very thing itself, to be an expression of love. These photographs that I'm sharing with you are hummingbirds. Christian Spencer is an Australian photographer and artist, and he caught these bird wings just at the right time, these translucent wings that became a prism for the sunlight and became like living rainbows. And you see, that's what we are meant to be. As we become this translucent conduit for the light of divine love to express in and through us, to be this prism of a love made manifest. This type of love, as I said before, isn't performative. It isn't just about talking about how loving we are. It's not about just talking the talk, but also walking the walk. Emerson said, "What you do speaks so loudly that I cannot hear what you are saying." And that's what performative love is. It's talking about it, but not really being the thing itself. It is merely love by gesture only. But true, divine, healing, transforming love, that is what we are meant to be, not only as individuals, but also as a spiritual community. And fear can be a type of prism as well, when you think about it, refracting into myriad behaviors and experiences. Fear is often the motivator of some of our most unloving behavior. I know that has been true for me through the years. Fear can at times unconsciously direct our lives. It can trigger these less than loving behaviors and experiences. It can build walls between us, around us. Fear can also fragment us internally as well, as we, through our fear, cut off important parts of our being. This is a First Peoples story, one that I'm sure you've heard before, but it speaks so poignantly to what I'm trying to say today. An elder was teaching his grandchildren about life. He said to them, "A fight is going on inside of me. It is a terrible fight. One wolf represents anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, false pride, ego. The other stands for joy and peace and love and hope and inclusion and sharing, humility, kindness, empathy, truth, compassion. The same fight is going on in you, he said to a grandchild. The children thought about it for a moment, and then the child asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The elder simply replied, "The one that you feed." If we feed fear, we manifest more of the same. If we feed our loving spirit by being that transparent, translucent conduit through which it expresses, we express more of the same. So I ask you this morning, which wolf are you feeding? Jesus was so congruent in his belief, his internal material, and his behavior. He taught us that the way that we find true meaning in life, that we break down walls, not only in ourselves, but between one another, is through love. Charles Fillmore said that love is a unifying power. So as we love self, we unify all the fragmented aspects of our awareness. We are no longer disconnected from our divine center, but we are fully conscious of our connection with God. We are no longer incongruent, but we are congruent with belief and behavior. Jesus loved intentionally. I don't know how you can read the Gospels and not see that Jesus loved with intention. He deliberately aided others in their search for healing and a search for the transformation of their own incongruent behaviors. He helped people to knit up all the frayed places within their own being so that they could be transparent and translucent and open as a prism of God's divine love. Jesus encourages us to love God with every aspect of our being, but God doesn't need our love because God is the very essence of love itself. But in our devotion to and with and for God, what we do is open our awareness to understand that we are always one with God. It is a way that we set our intention and focus our attention. You see, love is the great unifier, and our openness to God, our focus on God, draws us up into greater and greater experiences of this divine love. We are to love ourselves. We are to include ourselves in this intention for inclusion. We are to include ourselves in the healing power of divine love. Jesus, again, loved others intentionally and deliberately and powerfully. He loved the lost. He loved the rich. He loved the poor. He loved the condemned and the outcasts. He loved the unlovable, at least those who were considered so in his societal context. The love of Jesus was transformative and it was powerful. And the love for those he touched gave them an understanding of their worth, of their own power, of their own significance, of their own ability to be this translucent prism of God's power and love in the world. Jesus' life and ministry was truly grounded in compassion. In Aramaic, the language that Jesus spoke, and in Hebrew, they're linguistic cousins, the word compassion most closely translates as womb-like in English. The word compassion then is associated with the way a woman might feel as a child is growing within her, a child that she carries in her womb. It has allusions to giving life, nourishing, caring, and embracing. This is the central quality of the life that Jesus called his followers to live, and how different this world would be if we were committed to doing just that. Jesus invites us into this awakening to remember something that we perhaps have forgotten, that we are created in the image of God, that we are worthy, that we are good, that we are important and significant in this world, and that truly our purpose is to be this transparent, translucent prism through which all of God expresses in this world. And to know as well and to remember that truth for everyone, to include them around this great table. No matter your race, ethnicity, your level of education, your bank account balance, whether you are gray, whether or not you are gray, whether or not you are gay, straight, old, or young, you belong here. You belong here. Come and remember who you are. Come and remember who you are. As a spiritual community, we are to draw the circle wide. I tell you, there are people who are looking for this place. I tell you that. There are people out there who have been wounded by their religious experience, who have been rejected by family, by friends, simply because of who they are and who they love and how they express themselves in this world. There are people looking for us. And so as we draw the circle wide, we make that space for them to join us. One that includes and celebrates the diversity of this world. One that welcomes all, not as a gesture, but truly welcomes anyone and everyone into a community of faith and spirit and prayer and service and inclusion. So let's draw the circle wide. Let's reach out with our prayers and with our hearts and with our hands to remind everyone that they are the beloved of God. And that includes you too. God bless you.
So we're going to sing. We're going to sing Draw the Circle Wide. Oh, this is a new song for me, but I believe Nina said that choir has sung this before, so maybe it'll be familiar. Very simple song and a great message. If I get the right key here. Draw the circle. Let's see. Can someone help me get this started? Linda, have you sung it before? I get confused on where to start here. I'll get it here in a minute. Got right the right key. Draw the circle. I'm sorry. I've practiced this a couple times here, but getting the right key here. Maybe let's do it a cappella. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. The circle, draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide, draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide.
And now, it is time for our offertory statement. Please know this with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful.
And now we'll sing the gratitude song. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am grateful, I am so blessed. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
Also remember today all those who have asked us to pray with them and for them, remembering our siblings in Afghanistan and Louisiana and all those who grieve today. We know that each and every one of them is blessed with a remembrance of who and what they are, of their sacred worth, that they are blessed with wisdom, health and wholeness, that the very life of God quickens within every fiber of their being, that they are guided and led in all that they do, and that they feel a sense of peace moving in and through them, trusting and knowing that all is well. And so we say, thank you, God. Amen. And now let us stand and join together in singing, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
We're going to do this a cappella as well. I'll get it started. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect unity. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever I am, God is. And truly we know all is well. God bless you all.